Now, in the last 24 hours, something very important shifted, and most people didn't even fully catch it. Oil just surged again, topping to just under $100 per barrel. War tensions didn't ease at all, and things are quietly escalating under the surface. And now both crypto and stock markets are now sitting in very fragile positions. So this isn't noise, and this could be an early stage for the next big move. And now we're going to break down everything that has happened. So right now, the most important story in the world is still the Middle East, but not for the reason most headlines actually suggest. On the surface, you're hearing things like ceasefire and negotiations and agreements and all of these nicer, calmer things. So you think, things are going to start evening out and getting better. But underneath that, things are actually getting worse. So now in the last 24 hours, oil prices have jumped again, pushing to nearly $100 per barrel. Now, the reason is very, very simple. The Strait of Hormuz, the most critical oil route on the planet, is still heavily disrupted. Now, there are a lot of important things that happen in this area. So shipping is now restricted, vessels are being stopped, and Iran is even reportedly controlling or taxing movement through the region. And at the same time, Western forces are preparing operations to secure those routes, but nothing has been resolved yet. Now, what does this mean? This means that the market is now realizing that this isn't some short-term shock. Now, this is actually turning into prolonged energy disruption. Now, historically, that's where things actually start to break. Even more telling, despite ceasefire headlines, military activity hasn't actually stopped. So things are still very, very active in that region. Now, this region is still getting those strikes, including tensions between Israel and Lebanon. Now, in the background, diplomatic talks are ongoing, but there are no real breakthroughs at the minute. So the key takeaway right now is that the situation is not stabilizing whatsoever. It's becoming more complex and more dangerous economically. Now, at the same time, the Ukraine war is still evolving. In just these last 24 hours, there have been new drone strikes deeper inside Russian territory, hitting regions that weren't previously targeted. This shows a clear shift in how the war is being fought. Now, it's becoming more long range, more technological, and less predictable. There was also a prisoner exchange which signals some level of communication, but overall escalation is still the dominant trend overall. Now, let's talk about crypto because it's reacting in a very interesting way. After a wrong rally recently, Bitcoin is now hovering around the $77,000 range. Now, in the last 24 hours, it hasn't broken out anywhere. It is kind of consolidated in this same area. And now it's the same thing with Ethereum and most major altcoins. They're all moving in this consolidation together. And this is what we call a compression phase. And what this usually means is that a bigger move is actually coming. What's also important is what's happening behind the scenes. Over 100 crypto companies are now pushing for clearer regulation in the US, which tells you something very big. Crypto is no longer a speculative market. It's actively trying to integrate into the global financial system. So right now, crypto is in a very sensitive position. It's not crashing, but it's also not confident enough to push higher yet. And the key word is yet, because I believe personally that there will be a bigger move coming, either to the upside or the downside, because there is a very, very big aspect from the news side and the tension side. So the tensions and the global situation could actually have a very big impact on where Bitcoin and pretty much all these other coins head to next. And now the interesting part of all of this is that stock markets are not acting the way you'd expect. Despite oil prices rising and geopolitical tension, major markets are still holding relatively strong, especially in tech. But under the surface, there are clear warning signs. In Europe, stocks are already falling due to these energy concerns. Consumer confidence is weakening as fuel costs rise, and central banks are becoming more cautious again. So what you're seeing right now is a split. One side is the AI-driven optimism pushing markets up, and the other side is real economic pressure building underneath. Now, that kind of divergence actually doesn't last. So now if we were to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this is what we would see. So we had the oil shock getting worse. The war is not going to de-escalate. It has actually evolved. And now as for crypto, that has paused and it's kind of waiting for the direction. And markets are starting to feel the pressure, even if they haven't fully reacted yet. So right now, the market is connected through one major factor, and that is energy. If oil keeps rising, the impact will actually spread into inflation, into markets, and into everyday life. So these next few days are very, very critical. I believe we will get something over this weekend. As you know, like I said before, Trump does like to do everything on the weekend. So Monday, we have to be prepared for something big, because what we're seeing right now might actually be the calm before the next major move. It's like the calmness before the storm. So we have to be prepared what's going to be happening in these upcoming days. But I will obviously keep you all updated on what will happen. Now, if you want updates like this, clear, fast and useful, then stay tuned and hit that subscribe button to stay up to speed with all the latest videos and all the news. Now make sure you guys check out Evedex in the description below. It is a fully decentralized exchange I also use for all of my trading. Make sure to drop a like, that'll be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching and I'll see you all in the next video.